The Athene Real Talk Podcast explores controversial ideas to stimulate debate and active thinking. These ideas do not always reflect Athene's personal views. Welcome to the Athene Real Talk Podcast.
He has been called the best gamer in the world, hands down.
World-famous gamer and philanthropist Athene.
Gaming for Good, it's called, has raised more than $20 million.
Using his notoriety to raise money for charity.
On activism, science, culture, and self-development.
Proud to have him in the studio today. I would not want to take you on in a video game.
I found a way better approach when it comes down to how I interact with my viewers in a way where I also take their needs into account, while before I was discarding the needs when they were just merely emotional. But there is emotional needs that we all have on a fundamental level, and when they're not fulfilled, we get to fully be controlled by fulfilling them. And the way I was looking at things was, if your physical needs are fulfilled, like food and a shelter, then you can just go and save other people's lives, right? But the thing is, though, if you don't have the emotional needs fulfilled, such as love and belonging and safety and accomplishment, then the idea of even helping other people is very much outside your awareness. And what I was doing to close that gap was just thinking that there was shortcuts, and even though there is ways to grow a lot and to be able to take care of your own emotional needs, disregarding them and imposing other kind of ways of thinking to bypass the growth that certain people have to go through does more damage than good. I think that is nicely explained. Athene Jadactic says, is it wrong to despise a friend, girlfriend that has become overweight? How would you explain it to them in a professional way? I would say, first of all, it's understand why is your friend or girlfriend overweight, because being overweight most of the times, unless you have a medical condition, is a symptom. It's not a cause. So by understanding the actual problem, which is not being overweight, but it's the underlying reason, you can see through to how you can actually help the person. And most of the times it's a lack of being able to get their needs. The person requires this understanding or this sense of belonging and doesn't feel like that, and uses food as a surrogate to just take away the pain, to eat away the pain, because obviously people don't want to be overweight. They just eat away the pain. That's what they do. Most people that are overweight just eat away the pain. What is causing the pain? So if you truly want to help your friend or girlfriend, it's about understanding why the person is overweight. And that requires you to emotionally understand and really put yourself in her or his position and see the world through their eyes. And that doesn't mean that suddenly you go like, oh, everything is fine, you can just eat. But then when you reach out to them, you can actually just, depending on how much trust they have in you, you can really, first of all, be there and truly understand them and accept them for who they are, and say, the problem is not that you are overweight. The problem is the actions that lead you to become overweight. But you yourself, there's nothing wrong with you. Because that's the problem. We tend to really blame ourselves for what we do. We tend to blame ourselves for what we feel and what we think. But there is nothing wrong with ourselves on the essential level. And if you understand that, you can accept yourself, you can love yourself, and you can forgive, you can let go. And that is very important for quite some people that are more easily overweight, because they blame themselves. They think on a certain level they might even deserve it. So being able to have the person accept themselves and being able to be really fine with themselves can help overcome the cause. But even that, for a lot of people, is not always enough. It's about also being able to, depends on the synergies, but with integrity, tell them how they can achieve their need in a better way, rather than just eating in a way, following their emotions, understanding themselves, and how understanding can be a much bigger remedy to their pain than eating, for example. But that's something they got to experience. That's something they got to grow into. It's really not easy, but judging the person is only going to do more damage than good. I can tell you that. It's not going to make the person like, I'm going to stop eating now. No. By judging, you give him more pain or her more pain, and then she will eat even, or he will even eat more to be able to deal with your judgment. So understanding and really trying to, see the root of the issue can help your friend and girlfriend much more. And that's why, we in a sense feel powerless. I mean, you probably feel powerless. That's why you are angry. What you can do as well, aside from this advice to help your friend, is to wonder, why are you angry? Why do you feel disgusted, or why do you feel like being mad at the person? Where does that come from? It's the sense of you are not in control, you don't have power. to change this person. So you get angry, you get frustrated. But if you follow your own emotion and you see like that the best way of helping the person is to accept the person for who he is on an essential level, but that doesn't mean you're fine with his actions. You can still, with integrity, show how he can achieve his needs in a better way. You can do it with respect. And that's the thing, like your anger and your frustration, understanding that yourself is how you get a step closer as well to seeing reality for what it is. And that on itself can help you greatly in not only dealing with your friend or girlfriend, but also dealing with yourself. So it's not just your friend or your girlfriend that is overweight and doesn't know his own emotions and understand why he does what he does, but it's also you. And that's why understanding your own emotions can greatly help you overcome these obstacles. And just being able to trust understanding to overcome your problems can really help you greatly. And I'm not saying like, oh yeah, you don't understand anything or whatever. I'm not blaming you or judging you or whatever. Life is a mystery for me as well. Life is a journey, and every day I learn more. It's fine to not know everything, you know? That's my advice, bro. The debate will be whether or not it's better to be the philosophical Athene or the cocky Athene. That's the debate. Okay. So cocky Athene. I'm talking to my philosophical Athene, right? Okay. So, the way you're going about it makes absolutely no sense. You build your fucking brand on being cocky. All the people that have been following you is because you're cocky. People want a strong father figure. If you go and are more emotional, not only do you come across more like a pussy, all the people that have been following you will just say like, what the fuck happened to you? They'll just leave. You will end up with a bunch of pussies that have so much more work to do, and you won't even be able to have a fucking impact in the world. Because what you want is an impact, right? So if you start catering to these emotional kids, then the people that are actually coming over and have a little bit more sense of self-respect, you just miss out on them, because these people don't get attracted by this understanding fucking woo-woo emotional bullshit Athene. The nice philosophical Athene, okay, Athene, I understand where you come from. But at the same time, you have to understand that you've been trying this for a very long time. And when you look at the results, which is even more important than your own ideas or your own thoughts, is to look at the results, you actually see that a lot of people, actually the majority of people, are not even being reached. If you really want to help people, and if you really want to make them grow in their full potential, you can either go about it in a way where you really try to help them grow and make them come to their full potential, or you can just judge them and impose them and turn them into robots. But at the end of the day, you never actually fix the cause of the problem. You're always fixing merely the symptom. And even if you get more productivity out of them, at the same time, in the long run, it's actually doing more harm than good in terms of what you could potentially achieve. Cocky Athene. So basically, what you are saying is that all the fucking money I raised and all the achievements I have done did more harm than good? It sounds like you're full of shit. Because you're saying on one end that it's all about facts and reality. The facts and reality are on my side, not on yours. So if I would have this integrity and sincerity, I would look at that, and instead of coming at me and telling me how I should be and how I shouldn't be, I would look in the mirror and wonder like, hey, maybe, just maybe, I'm full of shit. Philosophical Athene. But Athene, I don't say in any shape or form that your achievements didn't have a big impact in the world. But just as much as you know, as I know, is that at the end of the day, if you truly want to change the world, the way you're going to be able to achieve that is by helping people grow their awareness. And if your approach is not most optimal, then looking at your short-term impact blinds you to the potential long-term impact you could have. Cocky Athene. Okay, we're gonna play the game on your level. You show me any fucking facts that what you're saying actually fucking works, and I'll do it straight away. Because it's very easy to come here and talk about your emotional shitty approach, but at the same time, not have anything to show for it. Because it's easy to come and say like, oh, the world needs more love or whatever the fuck. If I don't see actual data and actually proof for what you say, you're just a bullshitter. It's that simple. Because at the end of the day, facts speak louder than words. Back to me. I understand that facts speak louder than words. But when it comes down to facts and words, there is a certain connection between them. I mean, you can just look at short-term profit in a company and show these numbers to make a point. But at the same time, It's when you have proper long-term investments that you have the biggest achievements. Look at you, for example. Imagine if your parents would have put you into a situation where you grew up, and rather than all the needs that were fulfilled and your ability to get to the point where you are, you would have been forced into a certain direction, all the impact you would have had wouldn't have happened at all. So basically, you yourself, if you're using facts above words, are already contradicting your own equation, which is you yourself required all this growth in order to be able to come to the point where you could have this impact. It's easily like Trump dissing people that want student loans because he got a $1 million loan from his father when he went to university. You take all your growth for granted. And as long as you take it for granted, you will never be able to truly create a ripple effect. And that is the problem with your approach. Cocky Athene, I want what works. And what you're saying right now doesn't make any fucking sense to me because I don't see practically how to make that work. If this is what's true what you're saying, then how come there is not a world of Athenes running around? Because if you can create this ripple effect, right, then you only need one guy in the history of human mankind and it would already be all over the place. So my approach, where I'm just focusing on more practical, actual results, is going to deem more results, better results, than your approach where you're investing in the long term. You're actually investing in a losing company. And if that is not true, then tell me why and tell me how to achieve that. But not with your words and your BS, but actual proof. Show me that it works. If it doesn't work, shut the fuck up. Back to me. When it comes down to showing what works and what doesn't work, it's very important to not be nitpicky. Because it's very easy to just look at your achievements and then turn a blind eye for all the people that have come over and end up leaving. I mean, if you could find a way to make people work out, a lot more people work out, and create a better environment, wouldn't you think it is worth trying it out? Because you might say like, I want to see these direct results, but at the same time, it is what blinds you and it disables you from even trying it out. And that's the problem. When you don't give yourself the room and you don't give people the room, you automatically create this scarcity mindset that you yourself are very fully aware of that disables people to grow in their awareness. Cocky Athene. I'm 37 years old. And I know when people are fucking slacking, making bullshit excuses, not taking responsibility. And maybe you fall for that shit. But when I see that, I call them out. I call them out for their bullshit. And if they don't fucking listen, they can pack their bags and get the fuck out. And that is what works. When you go about your understanding fucking bullshit rhetoric, where you go to people and you understand or their needs, they will take fucking advantage of you. There is no fucking way you will come with better results than me. And if you do, show me. Back to the philosophical thing. The thing is that the main issue in the way you approach the situation is that you're blinding yourself based on the direct results. And the question you can ask yourself is, what do you have to lose? If you have the ability to help people grow, if you have the understanding to help people grow, and if you understand how it works, at the end of the day, it's merely the understanding, right? You trust understanding more than anything. The only reason why you can't help people grow on an awareness level is because you lack the understanding. And it's not something that is their fault. It's something that you can overcome. So if you come and you preach this logic and these insights all over the world saying like, oh yeah, it can solve all your issues and all that shit, how come you haven't actually used that in order to fix the awareness issue? Because you know yourself damn well that the problem is not whether people are productive or not. The problem is the awareness. And if you can't find an answer to that, you will always be running behind. Cocky Athene, I want to see what works. Because it is true. It is true that it is an awareness problem. I fucking understand that. But I take compromises. I make compromises for the benefit of the world. And I think these sacrifices that I make, these choices that I make are more than worth it. So when you come to me and you say like, oh yeah, I should have a more understanding approach, I just don't understand how I can combine that and actually have a true impact in the world. And that's the thing. That's where my insights, philosophical thing, that's where my insights very recently allowed me to understand how to go about it, because you can have best of both worlds. You can approach people with integrity, with understanding, with caring, without making people take advantage of you. It's the psychology of a child. If you yell at a child and you force a child, you can turn a child into a miner, but you'll never turn a child into a Da Vinci that creates. A creator is when the person gets nourished and where all the needs are fulfilled and where you allow the person to make mistakes. When you're just constantly trying to control and create this environment, just look at psychology of children. You create drones, but you don't want to create drones. You want to create people that think for themselves. Creators. Self-independent creators. And going about it in a way where you provide for their needs and respect their needs is a much better combination. It's a much better formula than one where you just impose and go about things cutting corners like crazy. And that doesn't mean that you have to allow them to take advantage. When they do, you just make very clear that it doesn't work because it's merely conditioned behavior. It's conditioned behavior that they just saw worked in the past and they're just trying and applying it to you. But when you make it very clear that it doesn't work in a respectful manner, they will understand and they will change. Cocky Athene would still not agree, by the way. I would still say like, I want to see fucking proof that it works. But understanding Athene would say, well, the philosophical Athene would say that what I'm saying makes so much sense. You don't have to see that it works. Just read up on child psychology. You can help people grow their awareness. So it already works. You can just look it up. And cocky Athene would say like, I'll look it up and get back to you. That's the discussion. A little bit like that. Because at the end of the day, I always care so much about facts.
Subscribe to youtube.com/AtheneWins. Watch the live stream at twitch.tv/AtheneLive and follow The Real Athene on Snapchat.